sees the means of production, and the like and subscribe button. They know there are consequences to really going after a member of Congress. You need to exercise that power. What's the point of having this power? Like, so you make up 49% of the government instead of the 51%, and that means you have no authority whatsoever? That's not how it works. Remember back in the early days of this administration, I guess that was just a few months ago, when a bunch of Democratic members of Congress rolled up to that building that had been closed by Doge? Remember? There was a private security guard, not anyone with any federal authority, but a private security guard guarding it, and they all just stayed there. You know, they could have just, like, gone in the building, right? That was a federal office. They're members of Congress. They could have just gone in. If it was locked, they get security to break it open. They shouldn't dirty their hands with it, because that would make things more complicated for them. Oh, you're locking the door? You don't have the authority to do that. I actually can go in. I can do whatever the f I want, actually. One private security guard is enough to stop a bunch of Democratic Congress people? Ridiculous. Get security. Every single Democratic member of Congress should have a security firm working with them, or multiple. When the Trump administration tries to block you from something, from doing something that is legally your right, they take the heat. That's what they're paid for, okay?
Facility where they get the direction from ICE. So that's what I have to say, and we'll open it up for questions.
Michael Jones, I'll go ahead and pass it to you first.
Okay.
Hey, Congressman, it's Michael Jones from Once Upon a Hill. Good to see you. Hope you're doing all right. Thanks for doing this. I wanted to ask, I know that the center is, stood up by the state, but it's in partnership with DHS. And so I'm wondering, since we're in appropriations...
The most fucked up thing about that happening in DC, by the way, is what do you think would happen to anyone who was arrested for obstructing a congressman in their legal right to exercise federal oversight? What do you think would happen to anyone arrested? Do you have any idea what the judge circuit is like in DC? Do you have any idea how dem-aligned those judges are? Any private security officer who got thrown to them, who the AG went after them and they got thrown to the circuit, they would be sent to the goddamn mines. Okay? We don't even have words for the shit they would be sentenced to, okay? You have so much power. The only lesson that I've gotten from this, honestly, is that most Democrats genuinely don't know what to do if somebody tells them they can't do a thing they can legally do. Like, if you're in your house and you're chilling and a guy breaks in and they say, get out of my house, in America, you can shoot them. Maybe in other countries you can't, but in America, if a guy breaks into your house and demands you leave, you can just draw a firearm and end their life. I think a Democratic congressperson would just leave the house. Not legal advice. I mean, you can check the law, but if a person breaks into your house, you have pretty wide discretion. Congresswoman Maxine Waters tried to force her way into the ICE detention center in LA, but they pulled the door shut. Yeah, you need security. That's exactly what I mean. Like, what do you...
No, I want you to... Hello. Congresswoman Waters, I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, will I be securely now to all visitors?
Excuse me, I need to get in.
She's not a visitor. She's a congresswoman with congressional oversight. The answer here is move or you'll be arrested. Here are my marshals.
Public apparel.
I need to get in.
Like, ridiculous. Like, what's the point of having power? Genuinely, what the fuck is the point of having power? Like, yeah, like you could have any power you want on paper. And yeah, if you give up when people just close doors on you, then you don't actually have any power. Power's been centralized, my dude. No, it hasn't. They still have this power. A fat closing the door in your face doesn't legally override your congressional oversight powers. Why would you think that? You do. Oh, sorry, he countered. That's the rock and that's the paper. That guy's breaking the law. Arrest him. Toss him to the most liberal judge in the circuit. 1,000 years in the salt mines.
What are you hoping to do, Congresswoman?
I just want to see David work. Right, 6, 7, 8.
Would a congressperson normally be able to enter the...
Normally, yes.
Well, sorry, a guy closed the door in your face. He exercised a power demonstrated by any human being with arms. Clearly the power of Congress, being a senior congresswoman, there's no... It's impossible to overcome.
What is happening here?
Well, there were some of the authorities, I don't know who they were.
We were willing to do anything to fight for our constituents, but the opposing party just closing a door in our face to prevent us from exercising our legal authority? Sorry. Yeah, we don't really have a counter to that one.
And I'm trying to get in to see David working. who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU local union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back.
You don't hate Democrats enough, guys. I'm telling you, you do not hate Democrats enough. Notice how her first response to this really was to just cry to the camera rather than to say, this is illegal, I will have you arrested. She's too old for this? Yeah, definitely.
Season and the DHS bill just made it out of committee and will probably come to the floor before August recess. Do you have any plans beyond oversight and public accountability to, I guess, introduce any amendments? Is there any legislation in the works? I know you're limited in what you can do in the minority, but just how are you looking forward to using your federal, kind of the federal power that you have and the coalitions that you have in Congress to continue to kind of use every lever, a legislative lever of power you have to create the change you're trying to see?
Yeah, I appreciate the question.
I think Vaush is too unintelligent to piece together the "I'll have you arrested" means nothing when the police support Trump's policies. I don't understand why you feel the need to construct realities to justify your weakness. Like, why can't you just realize you have more power than you actually do? For one, cops aren't the only people who can conduct arrests. For two, like, you can bring marshals or you can just order arrests. You're in Congress. Like, you have power, dude. You can have a private security firm. Maxine Waters has the money, and just go in there and just block people from blocking you. And if they do anything to impede the security officers or you, they're impeding a member of Congress from exercising their duties. She could break the door down. Why not? You really think a member of Congress can't marshal any legal authority? Like, oh no, every cop's pro-Trump. Come the on. You've already lost then. You've built a world where you don't have to put any effort in because you think there's no point. These armed gentlemen are just my staff? Yeah, you can do that. You're allowed to do that. Also, that was in California. You really think they couldn't get state police? Like, the big incidents we're talking about have been in California and DC. You really don't think there are any law enforcement officers in either of those areas that would be willing to come along with a congressperson to Aura Farm and exercise their, like, anything? Nothing at all?
There's a few things. Number one is obviously our ability to conduct oversight. We know that it is in the law that members of Congress cannot be stopped from entering these detention facilities. And part of the thing I really wanted to ascertain here was, is this a federal?
Vaush is wrong about all this. Legally, they can't arrest the federal agents. Yeah, they can. Nor would private, you can arrest whoever you want. They don't mind. Nor would private security be allowed in the grounds. Sure, just say they are. Make them stop you. Why the fuck do you think they get away with so much? How can you watch them break the law over and over and then you act like a when it comes to your powers? It's the Wild West. Like, time after time, you see them do whatever the fuck they want. You're like, oh, I didn't realize they could do that, when all they had to do was just do it. And then you're like, well, we can't just do the thing. Yes, you can. Get a group of sheriffs or state policemen, anyone who will work with you, anyone who stops you, arrest them. Throw them in the drunk tank. It doesn't matter if the AG presses charges, but they should. Impeding a member of Congress, yeah, we'll toss like 50 charges on there. Oh, they'll fight it. Then let them fight it. The Trump administration can barely manage the court cases they're already settled in. How do you think they're going to handle 100,000 charges against their ICE agents? Seriously. You really think the DOJ has the people necessary to fight those cases? They're going to be going to public defenders for ICE agents, okay? It'll be great. Long Beach police arrested and charged a Border Patrol agent just a few days ago. They're not immune. They're not gods. Why do you all want to just roll over and show your belly? They're just regular people. That fat thumb who closed the door in Maxine Waters' face is just a guy. He's just a guy. You could go in there with private security and a few sheriffs and just arrest him if he blocks you. It's a crime. She has a legal right to be there. He's just a guy. 18 USCS 111 makes assaulting a federal officer punishable up to 8 years in prison. Who said assault? Yeah, if you assault them, don't assault them. If they block you from exercising your legal right, that's another thing. You can arrest members of the federal. You can arrest federal officers if they commit crimes. You're allowed to do that. Also, please, God, the more beefing there is between federal and local police, the better.
Facility in which it's just operated by the state. And so we are within our bounds to show. I could show up tomorrow, I could show up the next day, and they have to let me into the facility. I'm going to continue to do that as well. We actually heard reports from many immigrants that are within the facility that said, well, Yesterday, out of nowhere, they let us take a shower. They hadn't let us take a shower all week.
Try them with resisting arrest? Yeah, dude. Try every ICE officer who remotely impedes a Democratic member of Congress with resisting arrest. You give them 2 seconds to get the out of your way, and if they don't, they get arrested. If they fight, that's resisting arrest. Congratulations. DOJ, handle those cases. Yeah, hey, DOJ, hey, Pam Bondi, you have to send 5,000 more lawyers to manage these cases. You do realize that a lot of these AGs and judges operating, federal appointed AGs are often Hitlerites, but the state charges that these guys would be getting are overseen by people who are not fans of Trump. Like the judges and AGs operating on municipal and state levels, do you have any idea how much fun they would have tearing into federal agents that get arrested for impeding a Democratic member of Congress's legal right to oversee these concentration camps? They would be torn limb from limb. Oh, not to mention the time they would spend in jail, because not all of them would get out on bond. Just statistically speaking, some of them would stay in there. And that would be fun. I bet the ICE agents that impede the next member of Congress looking to exercise oversight would be a little more careful, considering the fact that some of their compatriots have been thrown in the slammer for breaking the law. Make them fear the consequences of breaking the law. Stop rewarding them for breaking the law. Stop telling them it's okay. Stop permitting it. Stop excusing it. Stop saying that there's nothing you can do about it. They broke the law.
Yesterday, out of nowhere, the food, got a little better than it's been before. And of course, all of this is in connection to the tour we were doing. That's why these visits from elected officials are so important in helping to see what's going on, but also help with the conditions on the ground. In terms of our oversight ability, I'm going to be speaking with our brand new ranking member, Robert Garcia, about seeing how we can use our ability to do shadow ad hoc hearings.
Trump has unquestionable power of pardon. Federal pardons, and that's for convictions, not for state or municipal, and not for ongoing cases. Irrelevant. Stop being weak.
Shine an even bigger light on the human rights issues and on the important conditions within this facility and within facilities across the country. And we hopefully will have more on that very soon, and on that conversation soon. We're also going to be looking at, and I'm unsure if it'll be via amendment or legislation, and we gotta I just came out of this facility and I have a lot more ideas around it. And so we'll keep everybody updated, but we will use every tool we got as members of Congress, whether it's through the appropriations process, filing legislation, or doing ad hoc hearings, continue to conduct the oversight visits. We're going to do everything we can because what I saw today, like I said before, broke my heart, and everyone should be very pissed off about the fact that our money is being used for an internment camp in the middle of the Everglades.
Thank you so much.
What state law would be broken? Federal agents would be impeding a member of Congress from overseeing these facilities. There are a million things that could be charged. It's happening in a state. If you have state officers with you, people who would who could bring charges, state charges against them. There's a million things that you could bring them. Who the fuck cares, dude? Cops love making up charges. Let these Trump-hating attorney generals have fun with it. It's a creative writing exercise. I agree, but it's Florida, dog. Yes, in Florida, you probably wouldn't be able to find as many sympathetic AGs and judges, though you still would find some. Keep in mind that a lot of these judges were, they took power before Florida was even a red state. That being said, that doesn't change the fact that you still have the legal authority to go through. You bring your whoever you need, your marshals, your sheriffs, your private security, and you do whatever the fuck you want. You have a legal right to be there. It is illegal to block them from doing the oversight. They have a legal right to be there.
Jess Craven, I'll go ahead and pass it to you next.
Thanks. Hi, Congressman Frost. Thank you so much for doing this, especially after what must have been a very, very emotional, I can't even imagine. Thanks for being here. These are very nuts and bolts questions. Do you know how many people are there? Is the gender breakdown, is it all males? And are they from all over the country, or are they all from Florida?
There's just under 1,000 people there right now. Their goal is to get to 4,000 capacity, 4,000 beds by August, in a couple of weeks here. They're going to be adding an additional 1,000 beds to it.
States have a lot of follow-on charges to most federal laws / misconduct. Yeah, please do not believe the bullshit that there's nothing state AGs could do to charge you. For one, the cops aren't the ones who issue charges. The cops can arrest you for any reason they want, okay? If you're in California and you get some sheriffs or members of the highway patrol with you and you march in, you can arrest people. They'll arrest people for fun. They love it. I lived in LA. I've seen what they do. They love arresting people. The charges, let the attorney general sort that out. And trust me, they're very good at finding charges. If they hate you, they will find charges. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. They will find charges. These random ICE agents aren't gods. They're not the president. They're just random people, losers.
Within the next week or so, and we saw that those new cages that they were working on. The demographic, this facility is all males over the age of 18. It is a mix of people. There are a lot of people there who just have a civil offense or just something very low that they were picked up for, all the way up to people who have done, violent crimes and all in between. There is a wristband system when they arrive that they put on them to determine what kind of offense they had. Most of them being civil offenses and small offenses, and they do not have them segregated. It's just a big hodgepodge of people all put together. And I asked a few questions on mental health issues and on how people can seek mental health help. If they are, if I asked the company, there's a third-party company that's doing all the medical work. I'm looking through my notes to try to find
what a surprise. It's subcontracted. I bet they're getting paid a lot.
Name for you guys. The third-party company that's doing all the medical work, I asked them, how often are you asked by the people running the facility who might not be able to be put in the general population because of a mental health condition or because of this and that? They weren't able to answer the questions, and it looks like there's not a ton of communication.
Imagine if we were getting mugshots of unmasked ICE agents. Oh my God, I'd come so hard in my pants, dude. If some Dem senator with some real balls went down to California and marched into the facility, the federal detention facility down there in downtown, and it just led to a string of arrests as California Highway Patrol members followed in through and arrested people for looking at them funny.
On that front either. This leads me to another thing that I forgot to mention that I think is really important. This facility, when we first pulled up, it was mainly third-party security companies,
of course,
that were running the parking and the security.
You know what that means, by the way? That means the guards to Alligator Auschwitz don't even have any real authority. They're private security. They're not federal police. If you went up there with your goddamn marshals, there's nothing they could do.
All of this. Then we get into the facility, and when we were at the tent where all the cages are, the people holding us back and the people in there dealing with the detainees were from a third-party security company. We barely saw any federal agents, a few people from the National Guard, a few people who are trained law enforcement officers, but it was mainly essentially cops for hire.
Because it's all kickbacks to private security firms. The whole purpose is to transfer money from FEMA's budget for helping people who get hit by hurricanes to private security and other private contractors.
Different than the people who wand you, if you were to go into a concert or go to a sports game. And these are a lot of the folks who are dealing with the detainees, transporting them around the facility, and are essentially running the whole thing. So this is also a huge source of taxpayer money just going to corporations, but also...
What's the difference between them and a normal civilian? Private security are normal civilians. They're normal civilians. They're just regular ass people. They're nothing. If you're a member of Congress, they're nothing. They have absolutely nothing.